everybody, this is a brand new show coming at you, and we are calling it the Danielle and Cami Show. I'm Cami, this is Danielle. We're not going to keep it that name. We're going to talk about that later on near the end of the show. But we want to just come to you and be able to talk to you about some things that we are really passionate about. And Danielle, you want to jump in here?
Yes. Welcome. We've always wanted to do a podcast, and here we are today doing our very first one. But the only thing is we just didn't name it. But that's what our show's about. Names and naming everything and how we come up with names, why we love certain names, why we don't love certain names, and just hopefully our challenge will be at the end of this show that you help us come up with a name for what we do here today.
Yeah, we basically just want to talk and have conversations about different things, and we want to get feedback from you guys and interact with you guys, because it's a lot of fun when you get to hear different ideas and thoughts from other people, but then you also get to hear our thoughts and ideas, and everybody just coming together, and we're just kind of mishmashing all this together and learning so much and getting some new perspectives that you wouldn't have ever thought of before. So that's what we're basically going to do here today.
Yes. So we thought we would start off each show with kind of a celebration of people. Now, I have a friend, her name is Pam, and she taught me this truth. And it's so simple, because most truths are very simple, but it's so profound. And it just is this. If you only have joy for yourself, your joy will only be as big as you. And I'm 5'4", and that's a lot of joy. I won't say what my mass is. But if I can have joy for Cami too, then my joy is doubled. And it doesn't even have to stop there. If I have joy for everyone, it can be as big as Lethbridge, as big as the world. Right? It's simple, but it's so true. The only thing that I did find was that often I wasn't having joy, and I wasn't even celebrating people. In fact, I was quite the opposite. There's an old Danish proverb that says, if envy were a fever, all the world would be ill. And it wasn't that I was so much envious of stuff, but more of ideals. Like, people had better behaved children, or they were happier, or they had a better marriage. I don't know what it was. I was just jealous, but completely unaware. So I took a practice into my life, and I'd love to say it was every day, but I am not that disciplined. But in the beginning,
none of us really are, honestly. We're all struggling through that.
In the beginning, I was more disciplined, and I was very conscious about taking someone who I thought had done something great and then really celebrating them, feeling complete joy for them. So do you want to start, or do you want me to start? Because we both picked a person.
It doesn't matter. I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
Maybe we'll do this like trade-off thing. So the person that I picked, that because we're talking about who inspires us, and obviously we're focusing this around women. So I chose a female who inspires me, or has brought to light some things for me in my life and bringing me joy. Yes. So there is this quote that I absolutely love, and I have loved it for a long time, and it goes, oh, I just blanked. Of course I did.
I know that I would blank too. That's why I wrote my quote down.
Well, you're better than I am.
No.
You're going to have to come back to me. Let me look this up. It's my favorite Croper.
It's okay.
Forever.
There's a lot of pressure being in front of live audience.
I know. Give me a second. You go. Jump.
Okay. So mine was actually a lady that I didn't know this was her quote. I always thought it was Nelson Mandela, and I wrote a blog post about it, and it was my brother-in-law who corrected me. I quickly changed my blog post, and I didn't think much more of it. Then I thought, hey, this is a woman. I should look up who she is and what she's about. Anyway, my quote is from Marianne Williamson, and she's an American spiritual leader, author, lecturer, entrepreneur, and activist. And this is her quote. And the reason why I liked it is because I heard it when I was in high school.
That's a long time. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But that's a long time to just be passionate about one quote.
Tons. It's amazing that it's still stuck in my head that long.
That's what I meant, yeah.
And I can't quote it. I wish I could. So I'm going to read it. But it's powerful. And I think you've heard it before. But she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do, and we were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Wow, that's really powerful.
Right?
I know, it's cute.
So I just like that idea that fear is so silly. It stops us from all the connection that we really could have if we just said, who cares? And actually, Cammie and I, we've known of each other for a while. Like, I bought hairbands from you when my babies
a few years ago, and we knew each other even like when we were in college years. And
yeah. And then we reconnected, but we reconnected as adults that don't fear. Well, mostly don't fear.
But we've overcome so many things, and that's the point. And so that's what has connected us and drawn us together, is because we've had the same like-mindedness where we've gone through experiences, and we've been naturally drawn together because of the way that we think and the way that we process life and experience life with the same outcome, right? Like, yeah. We're trying to find the joy and the positive and that in everything that we go through. So
cool.
Did
you find your quote?
I did, and I feel so silly because this quote hangs on my wall, and it's in my bedroom. So every morning I wake up and I look at my quote, and I also have it on my little laptop. You know, the thing that you put on your lap that holds your laptop, it's on there as well. So this is a quote that I look at daily, and it's like one little sentence long, and I just had a blurt moment where it's like, boop, forgot. So the quote is, oh my goodness gracious, I guess I have to Google this again and look at my phone. Okay. So it goes, I can and I will, watch me. And I don't know how I'm like not remembering this. Whatever. But that is my life quote, because I find so much strength and power in that. And when I first saw it, I just fell in love with it. And I just thought, yeah, I totally am going to do it, and yes, I am, watch me, and nobody better tell me otherwise, because I am my own woman, and I am my own person, and I want to have my own thoughts, and I don't want to be subject to dogma, and I want to do what I want to do. I mean, in like good things, but you know what I mean. But
we won't question one.
Exactly. But you know, if I feel like I can do it, then let me do it. And I don't want anybody to hold me back, and anybody to tell me that I can't otherwise, and to not follow my dreams. Because when you tap into your potential and you feel like you can do it, you can do incredible, amazing things that I think you'll astound yourself after you've come out of it and go, I knew I could do that. Yes, I did that, and I am so excited that I did that. Everybody, like, look at me, I did that. So
like, do a live podcast without a real name.
So anyway, I have the person who that quote came from, and it's also on my picture. and her name is Carrie Green. And for the longest time, I loved the quote, and I had who quoted it underneath the quote, but I didn't really pick on who this person was. And so one day I went and I Googled her, and I thought, okay, who is this Carrie Green that, who said this quote that I love so much? And I found out that she is this woman who has started the Female Entrepreneur Association, and she's English, so she's very proper. I'm sure she is. I haven't met her, so I don't really know. But anyway, she started this foundation because she is an entrepreneur, and I am an entrepreneur, and so instantly I found this connection. And she started this association for women to come together in this platform to find motivation, to find strength, to find mentorship, in order to help them with their growing pains of having a business. But it doesn't apply just to business. I mean, it can carry on to every aspect of life and everything that we go through, just like everything. Everything can tie in together. So I found this new person that I adore now from this quote that I love. And anyway, I've been on her blog and I've been reading some of her stuff, and it's so empowering and so amazing. And this is why I love women, because we just seem to have this knack of naturally connecting with each other, even if we don't even know each other, or again, like not even really having that much interaction with each other, just like you and I, and then all of a sudden it's like instant connection because we're women and we think the same way and we have the same passions. And so,
speaking of instant connection,
yes.
So we were day before, having tea. I had a nice mint tea at Umami. I say it wrong all the time. And speaking of instant connections, Trisha at Umami served us a beautiful tea, and then we asked her today if she'd be willing to supply the drinks for us, and she did.
Cheers to women!
So we have a new friend, Trisha, which is awesome, and in her delicious restaurant and her cooking classes, everything. And you've been so generous with giving us tea and a beautiful atmosphere and yummy food. It was great.
Yeah.
That's just that
instant connection. So just in case you're just joining us, I'm Cammie and this is Danielle, and this is our very first show that we're doing, and we are here just to kind of talk about our thoughts and things that inspire us in the realm of womanhood, and just to pay tribute to women who have inspired us and things that we have found along the way through our experiences in life that we want to share and talk about, that someone else could find connection to.
Exactly. So one of the first things is after high school, I went to school, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Well, I did. I actually wanted to be a mom. I just didn't have a husband. I mean, I could have done it, but I just didn't want to be a single mom. That's hard.
It's easier with somebody else.
But Dave didn't show up forever. And then I went to school, and for whatever reason, I just thought teacher and nurse were my only choices. That is not true. I don't think I need to say that because
no, it's funny. You know why?
Obvious.
You know why you have to say that? Because I went to school for dental assisting, and it's funny because you think, oh, you have to be a hygienist or an assistant or a nurse or a teacher, and that's what women do. And
go be the doctor. Like, why not? I say to my girls, if they say, I don't know, they're still kind of young to decide.
It doesn't matter. You just
start
implanting that as young as possible.
I remember talking to one girl, and she's like, I don't know if I want to be a nurse or a doctor. And I said, well, would you rather be married to a nurse or a doctor? She said a doctor. Then I said, then go be a doctor, because that's what you want to do. Anyway,
I can and I will.
I can and I will. Watch me shine and liberate others. I can't quote mine.
That's okay. I have to do simple things, and that's why my quotes are very little.
Anyway, but after becoming, I did get my degree in education and science, and then taught for a while, and thought maybe I should go back to school and get my master's, but deciding what I would do was impossible. I just couldn't. I could barely decide what I wanted to be with my life. In fact, I actually decided on occupational therapist, but I missed the deadline.
You know, it's but it's a scary thing. I guess when you're at that age and you think, oh, this is what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life. I better pick something that But as we get older, you realize there are so many more choices and opportunities, and you don't always have to stick to the same thing. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes life just kind of forces you to go a different direction. You're like, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay, let's go for it. But yeah, I know.
So I remember being at U of A handing in my papers, and they're like, "You've missed the deadline." I'm like, "I know, but here's my papers anyway." They're like, "You can apply next year," and I wasn't going to waste a whole year. I wasn't that passionate. I had to.
I just want to do something now. Just give
That's
something.
right.
That
So
I
I
can do
went
now.
back. I moved back to U of L and did teaching and science degree, and thought, okay. But after I became a mom, there was no way that I thought I could. I was so overwhelmed. I wasn't sure. I think when you really, really, really want something and you get it, it's never as good as you thought it was.
You're like, okay, great, I got it. Now what? Because I didn't
Yeah.
expect
the
to
things you
plan
really want
after
when
what
they
I got.
come.
What I got.
Be careful, because if you're not in a place of just love
Yeah,
it,
what they say, be careful what you wish for, because you will get it.
you will get it.
Yeah.
And I did get it. And it was absolutely everything I didn't think it was. But I think the biggest problem was I did not know I was ADD until a few years ago. And I tell you what, because I had a younger brother who was like ADHD.
Off the
checklist-
charts.
Yes, checklist off the charts was that I thought, oh, I'm not that. But I was more like the silent pleaser, can't decide, can't focus, but I had enough skills and smarts that I could figure it out. And so it wasn't until like a few years ago that I actually took medicine, and it was so liberating because all of a sudden I could do something again. I could barely handle being a mom and living day to day, but all of a sudden with my
Yeah.
brain back and full things, I decided.
Now you're going to go for it
Yes,
again?
and I decided that I'm a teacher. And then I thought that was for District 51, but I learned it wasn't. So I started my own. And all that huge backstory to tell about my business. And then
Okay.
you tell about yours?
Sure.
Okay, so naming my business was, like, all I knew, like I had some visuals because I'm a teacher, that I loved infinity signs, except for David's business. He was designing his logo, and he actually has like the F and the P for Ferguson Paint
Mm.
in an infinity sign, which I kind of helped, but he had it especially. So I thought, oh, I've already used it. Goodbye.
So what is your business? So that when
I'm building up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm building up.
I was jumping the gun. Okay. You have a plan. I'll just
That's right.
let
this
you
is
go
my-
for
this is
it.
my outline.
Sorry.
This is the teacher in me.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. It's not your turn. You
Okay.
didn't raise your hand. Okay, I will tell my business. You're right. I do need to tell it for my
Because
story.
otherwise people are like, well, okay, she's showing this logo.
Yeah,
But
that's
what's the
not
logo?
my logo. So what I'm really passionate about is women, stories that connect us, just being full out honest, because honestly,
Oh my gosh.
vulnerable,
Okay.
authentic.
I can't tell you how much I just want people to be real. I'm so tired of the fake and the facade and the trying to be something. So that's why I love Danielle so much, is because she is just like, hello, here I am, this is what I am, like it or leave it. And
Yeah.
it's so refreshing to just have a real person and not having to be forced a certain image on you. Anyway, I love it.
Cool. Well, and I did come from a French mother. Everyone should have a French mother. She just says it like it is. Actually, the French just say it like it
They
is.
do. Those French women are fabulous. French women are fabulous.
And no, they don't have hairy armpits. That's like when my cousin came over to live with us, that was the question she got asked the most.
Okay, but they do in Italy because I saw it full on. So, anyway,
So it's Italian.
I digress.
Just joking. So do I. So passionate about women, women's stories, passionate about teaching, and I thought, and dancing. I'm passionate about dancing.
Are you really?
I love
I didn't know that about
I used to
you.
be a Zumba instructor,
Shut up.
but it was at nighttime, and now I needed it during the day, and I couldn't find too many during the day.
Okay.
And I tried to write a book. Anyway, Can you see my
ADHD? We do too many things.
But I thought I am going to host a women's conference where we learn like skills and we share stories and we make vision boards and we become stronger from connection. And I want to have this great big community right here in Lethbridge and just celebrate everything. And then it ends with a big dance party in the night.
Are you going to do a dance party?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm so there.
All right, sorry boys, it's girls only.
We're more fun anyway.
But I had this great big idea, and I knew, first of all, that I couldn't do it on my own. So I hired a time coach. They are real things, and they help you be accountable to time. I found a girl whose superpower was organization and time, and I knew I needed that, and we just found a way to make that work.
Again, you recognize what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And you don't try and take everything on and fake it till you make it. I mean, you're real and you know what your weaknesses are and you are ready to recognize what other people's strengths are and say, hey, come over here and just help me a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There is okay, I'm not going to get on too much of a tangent because I really want to tell you about my thing. But there is such power in being able to recognize what you lack and recognize someone who has it and go ask them for help. Like, actually, how I found my time coach is I just asked this girl, what's your superpower? And she said, I am so organized. And it actually took me a day or two to process that. And I thought, I need that. So I called her up. And anyway, so then I thought, okay, I need some sort of name or logo for this business. So I just put a W. I don't have this image.
That's okay. Your fingers work just fine.
I'll put it in a blue background so you can. So I just put a W for women. And you know what it reminded me of? Da, 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 my favorite Wonder Woman. But I can't go, you know, take her W.
That's plagiarism. Get your own, girl.
That's right. So anyways, then I thought, I'll flip it over. And it was mountains. Mm-hmm. And I liked the idea of mountains because they're immovable and strong.
And yeah.
Yeah, but then I was like, you can't be called mountains. Like, mountains. Woo. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, I love
so then I just went completely different direction. And I love eyes because they're the window to the soul. You can tell so much about people by their eyes. When we were little, my mom used to say, I know you're lying because I can see stars shooting out of your eyes. So I'd be like, no, we're not lying, we're not. Anyway, and then I thought, oh, look, E-Y-E. Empower yourself every day. Acrostic poem.
So what kind of teacher? Were you like a grade school teacher, like little kids?
No, I taught at LCI.
Oh.
And then I did
because you're very visual, and I love it. But it's like you're teaching kids like.
It actually keeps me on track.
And the eyes were the
eyes. I should have a picture. The eyes.
It's cute.
Eyes window to the soul. Empower yourself every day. And then I thought, when I saw I written down, I'm like, actually, zoop, zoop. There's my mountains. There's my W. There's my. And then so look, I'll show you. There. I wish these were in color. Sorry, we have no color printer at our house.
It's okay. I actually prefer black and white.
Do you?
Yeah. Again, that goes along with another woman who inspires me, but we'll talk about that another time.
It's not about you now. It's my turn.
She's a mean teacher.
That's right. I'm a sub teacher right now.
Ooh, subs.
Okay, so I turned into my mountains, and when I was staring at that, I just saw this V, and I am Eve. And Eve meaning like the dawn of something fantastic, and kind of just a generic term for women in general. Mm-hmm. For Eve. Anyway, I am Eve got created. And on February
Look at that.
9th, February 9th, party of the century.
In Lethbridge!
In Lethbridge! Yes!
Who knows where Lethbridge is?
So all of you book your hotels because it's gonna sell out fast.
There you go.
So there, empower yourself every day. I am Eve, and I'm working with a designer right now just to get it all beautiful and like
We are
big enough
very
that I
much
can do banners.
looking forward to it and so excited for the build-up of your event. So it's going to be fun.
We have so many like fantastic speakers, people to do like dance parties, crafts. So if you have just joined us, I'm Danielle. It's my friend Cami. Two Lethbridge girls.
Two Lethbridge girls
Women.
hanging out, talking about stuff.
Telling you about what we're passionate about, which is women. And we believe, Eve. I love it. Our event is called Believe in Love because it's right at Valentine's Day, right around that
There you
time.
go.
And believe in love, believe in you, believe in the power and community of women.
Totally. And you know what? This is why all this works, because if men did this and they got together and let's have a men's conference, yeah, it would not be fun. They would be.
It'd be Nintendo games.
It totally would. So this is the one.
I don't know what it'd be.
This
Sorry,
is
men.
what I love about women. Yeah, I'm sorry, not to bash on men because we do love men, but there is such a difference between the male and the female, and this is why I love womanhood so much, is because we have this instant connection, like I was saying earlier, and you know, no matter what you go through, or you know, when we talk about, okay, let me back up a little bit. So as women, I feel like a lot of us, when we go through things, we feel like we're alone, and we're just struggling through these experiences that we go through, and because we're so tied up in our roles of mother or daughter or you know, wife or whatever it is, and we're going through all these things, and we think, oh, am I the only one going through this? And like, this is driving me crazy. But then you start opening up and you talking to other women or listening to other women, and you're like, oh, I have that same experience, or I'm going through that same thing, and you can instantly connect with each other and find relief and solace in what other woman is going through. And maybe we need some men to call in and get their perspective, but I just don't think men do that. And I could be wrong, but I just feel like women, we just have that that superpower. I'm going to use your word because I really like that word. So anyway, that's why I think your conference is going to be so fun, because we're going to have people coming up there and talking about experiences, and I think women are going to connect with that and hear that and use it for their lives, that on an emotional level that they've been needing to hear.
Right here in Lethbridge. And actually I have different vendors coming that are women. I actually went to a home base party and we reconnected
That's
there.
where we
But
reconnected.
I'm looking for my...
It's okay. We'll show them another time. But
I will go grab it.
well, mine's right here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, I gotta reach over and down.
But I thought I put mine here.
No, but anyway. Yeah. So
Your banner.
I
I
have
hear
my own
it.
business where I make stuff. So it's called.
Please explain stuff.
I wasn't gonna just leave it there, but yeah. So I through a bunch of different things that I've done through life, like I'm a very creative person, and I've always wanted to have my own business. So I'm like, okay, I can and I will.
I feel like
so
you
watch me.
revealed before.
What?
I feel like I'm doing the reveal before.
You're my
Okay.
Vanna White.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da. So this is one of the things that I make are tote bags, and I also do home decor and some beauty products, but it's just starting out. It's just seeing what I'm capable of doing. I think that's just kind of the fun part of the journey of a business.
Okay, but one of the parts that I loved was everything on this bag, even the hardware.
It's Canadian sourced, and
I'm going to show you this.
extremely passionate
I
about.
want you to look how cute this hardware is on the back, and there's your brand right there. Do you want to tell your name what it is?
Boxwood Bureau.
Boxwood Bureau. They are just adorable.
So
I have mine too.
I just feel like if we live in Canada, our stuff should come from Canada. And I wanted to be able to get all my supplies and source all my materials from Canadian companies because I want to support other Canadian businesses. Yeah, that's just my personal stuff.
Sorry.
Okay, you don't need to pull that out.
What's in Cammy's purse?
Let's play a game.
Da, 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 da.
It's just a notebook.
That's for future episodes. Stay tuned.
That'd actually be a really fun game. Can we have a prize?
What's in my purse?
We'll give a bag away if you can guess what's in my purse, but not like we gotta put something fun in there.
Okay.
Okay.
The other
See,
thing
now
too-
you're gonna stay tuned because you get to win a bag.
The other thing too is I believe every object in your life should reflect back joy. And so when I put on my cami bag, my boxwood bureau,
Aren't you happy?
I am. And you even showed me the little part that, like, it came from a real
Yeah.
cow. Sorry to all my friends that don't.
It came from a real cow?
Like,
Is that what you
it's
said?
a leather. And it's soft,
You're
nice.
so hilarious. It is. Yeah, no, I use quality products and everything. Everything's sourced from Canada. And everything has a story because I'm passionate about Canada and our heritage and kind of where we derive from, and so that's why I have the tartan. And
Oh yeah, tell them about the tartans too, because every tartan, you can't just use any tartan for these bags. Tell them
no, I can't use a registered tartan for my bags because you have to get permission from the clan that has the tartan to be able to use it for products. So I'm trying to find tartan that's an unregistered tartan that I can get on a constant basis for making stuff, and then naming the tartans because I wanted everything to have this Scottish name to my bags, but coming up with Scottish names was literally a nightmare because everything is registered to some type of a tartan. So I can and I will watch me. I did it, and I did find names for all my tartan because you give me a challenge and a task and I will not back down, and I've got to see it through to the end. So I did end up finding names for everything. Some of them were names that are registered, but I found that if you just take letters and change it and make a different spelling of the name, then it works.
Nice.
We're getting creative here, but anyway, yeah, so we're tying back to names.
Names.
Where we were back at the beginning of the whole program.
Okay, so my name's Danielle,
I'm Cammie.
and together this show has no name.
Today it's the Danielle and Cammie show, but we just thought it would be fun, again, coming up with the program about women and inspiration and empowerment from women, because that's what drives us, is inspiration from other women and seeing what they've gone through. So we want to have our show named after the essence of all of that.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So I'll tell you a little bit about my name, or the name I wanted. When I was young, I always wanted to be called, well, there's a few names. Stephanie.
Okay, so I seriously...
I was an 80s child. Stephanie.
But don't you remember Full House where
yes,
she's like,
the
step on
Holly
me,
one.
step on me?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did you not watch Full House?
I did what? I was religious.
You must have watched that episode. Or
Oh
missed
man.
that episode.
The other name was Samantha.
Oh, see, now that's cute.
And then they could have called me Sam. And I even would have settled on a name that was like a boy name, but girl.
Okay, so I love names like Charlie or Jack for
Right?
a girl.
Well,
I just
Samantha,
think it's,
and then they call you
and that's
Sam.
that's why I like Sam as well.
And I always wanted that. And I was kind of a little bit mad that I was a Danielle, because my sister's name is Jennifer, which is, everyone has a Jennifer my age in their
It's
in
true.
their life. And my brother was Matthew, like Matt. How many Matts do you know? And I was this obscure Danielle. And I just wanted a boy's name. And then when I was 16, I went to go live with my grandfather in France. And I knew I was named after my grandpa, but Daniel's even a worse name than Danielle. I don't know.
Is it?
Daniel.
Daniel, my
Joel.
brother.
Well, yeah, that's a good song. But Joel has to be one of the funniest names. Sorry, all the Joels. Joel. Anyway, but in France, Danielle and Danielle, boy and girl,
Yeah.
are the same. I had a boy name. It was just in the wrong country.
Eureka! You had to just go overseas to get there.
That's right. So I did. In the end, I thought, well, that's funny. I only wanted a boy name. Isn't that often how life is? You want something that's out there.
And you get it.
You already had it. You just didn't appreciate it.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Danielle. I lived with my grandpa and his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And so she used to distinguish us between Danielle and Daniela. I still to this day don't know which one I was. And we both would turn when you answered. That's right. Anyway, so tell us about, but Danielle, or Daniel,
Uh-huh.
is a Hebrew name, which means, I have to look this up because I already forgot. Well, tell us about Cami.
Are you blanking just like I did at the beginning?
I'm pulling a Cami.
Okay, I'm glad we're naming that now.
A cameo, we'll call it. Just joking. Okay, I will tell you one thing about names.
Okay.
When my girlfriend, this is maybe not at the awkward stage where you're just starting to develop breasts. We're talking about everything on the show.
Why not?
She said, they're like gimpy anthills. And for whatever reason, gimpy anthills, the description, it just struck a chord in me and I found it so unbelievably funny. And so did she, and it was just our joke for each other. Well, fast forward about a year into our lives, and at the time she had a panic attack, and I didn't even know at the time what it was. I just remember being really freaked out and she had to breathe.
Oh, like she really
bag.
did?
Yeah, like a paper bag, she had to breathe into it. And I remember she looked up at me and she said, I am gimpy anthills. And it was at this moment where I thought, that's not a funny joke. Like, it was a joke between us, and I really don't think she took it seriously.
But you probably just really heard it then.
And I heard it, and I thought, no more gimpy anthills. So I'd be really careful about what I call people. I'm still human.
Well, I will hope you wouldn't call it anybody.
I won't call it a cameo. The part where you forget.
It's okay, I'm used to it.
Anyway, tell us about Cami.
So, I loved my name growing up. My parents told me at one point before they decided on my name that I was going to be an Ariel. Thank goodness I wasn't named an Ariel, or Chrissy, which, again, thank you for not naming me Chrissy. Do you not just think of like Three's Company every time you hear that?
Come and knock on my door.
So anyway, I always loved the name Cami because it's different, and I always loved being. I don't like being mainstream. I like being a little bit different. So I cut my hair short, but I have to say, growing up, being a kid that had a very different, unique name, it sucked. Because every time you wanted one of those little license plates to go on your back of your bike or a mug or something that was branded with your name,
Yes.
never, ever could I find Cami. And I hated it because I wanted one of those license plates for the back of my bike so bad I can't even tell you.
I thought I named both my children names that they could buy the hairbrush.
Did you
with their
think of
name
that
on the
too?
back. I did, because I also felt left out.
Yeah,
And
I
you know
know.
what? Actually, in France, when Dave and I went on our honeymoon, you know how I find they don't sell them here as much because I feel like everyone's got unique names. They're like
They
don't
do.
sell anymore, but in
Yeah.
France they still sell. And Danielle and David are always side by side, always to this day.
Oh, that's just too cute.
Hey, we gotta celebrate all the positives that are out there.
Sure, the little things in life that make us happy.
That's right.
So I could never find that type of stuff with my name, but I loved being Cami, and it's actually short for Camry, which again is very unique. I can't even count on.
Like this? Camry?
That's Camry. I'm Camry.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There's an A in there. So
It's like, it's not that unique. It's all. Sorry, no, it is unique.
yeah, it's okay. Where was I going
it
with
was
this?
unique.
It was
no,
unique.
it was unique.
Yeah,
Camry.
but because of the way that it's spelled, everybody, like when they would call out attendance at the beginning of the year of school, all the teachers would call out Camry, and I just cringed when I would hear that name, and I would always be like, I'm Camry, And I always want to do it like Camry, like this, almost like this posh name to it, because I thought it was like such a pretty name. So I have always loved my name. I've always enjoyed it, being called that.
I didn't know you were a Camry.
Yeah, see, learned something new. So I've always enjoyed being that, and anyway, I'm just glad I wasn't an Ariel or a Chrissy, because
I definitely know. I think your name suits you. And
it does. It does for sure.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted a girl named Elle, which actually is really popular, apparently, from the news I saw. But my last name's Lowe, so she would have been Elle Lowe. Hello! I know, that's funny, eh?
That's great.
Yep, so I didn't. And then you have the names that you like. Oh, well, here's a name fact. Okay, our first baby that we had, Dave and I thought, we're just going to wait to name her. And so she was born, and day 1 went by, and day 2 went by, and day 3 went by, and we're still looking at her like...
You have a name picked out before?
Well, we had 5 names picked out before, and we thought, we're going to look at her face, and we're going to see what she looks like. By day 4, my mom's like, I'm tired of calling this girl Baby Lowe. Pick a name. And apparently you can't leave the hospital without something written down.
Yeah, because they have to have all the documents and everything filled out.
So I had Sophie, which I really loved, and it's after my aunt in France, who at the time had cancer. But it was just also at the time where that book, The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, yeah.
And her name was Sophie, and I thought, I don't want to name her after Sophie. Not Sophie. After Aunt Sophie, yes. And then
But Sophie's such a cute,
yeah,
like I even
Adele
love the
was
old
there,
fashioned
and Adelaide, and I just, looking at her, I thought, I don't know what she looks like. And Dave didn't know, and neither of us could decide. So then we just picked Claire. Because it was on our list, and we liked it.
I was to say, did you pick a name that didn't end up being on
No,
our list?
no, it's totally on our list. And Claire was one that we often went back to. And then someone's like, after the cheap jewelry store, like chunky jewelry. No, I did not name my daughter after chunky.
No, I mean.
Although, yeah. I named her after the song, Claire de Lune, by a French composer.
Again, French, tying in to...
Because half my family's French, I needed a name that worked in both languages.
Yeah.
Elle wouldn't have worked in both languages. They'd be like, it's she.
It's hard
she.
picking names when you have kids, because I felt like it was such a daunting task. This kid is going to have this name for the rest of their life, and it's all because of me, because I chose that. And then you also look at what the definitions of names are, and you're going, I can't name my kid that, or no, I'm not naming my kid that. Or even, I remember when I was going through that process of naming my kids, you want to choose stuff that can't be made fun of, like when I just said Stephanie, and I said step on me. So you think of at least I thought of all these things of, okay, I can't pick a name that someone can turn into a bully name, and it has to be a name that has a good connotation to it, and it has to be, a name that's not what everybody has. Do you remember that? I always think of that movie, The Emperor's New Groove, when that little like gargoyle guy was like, remember that year when everyone was calling their kids Brittany and Jason? Because it's the most popular name, and other names like Ethan, and I'm like, oh, everybody's named Ethan, I can't name Ethan, or Hunter, or whatever. So I was trying to pick names for my kids that were not popular, that everybody didn't have, that you couldn't make fun of, that was a cool name, that they were going to enjoy, and that what fit your personality or what you wanted. So, yeah, it's overwhelming and it's stressful, but somehow we all end up with these names, and somehow they all fit and they all work out, and you look at somebody and go, yep, you totally look like a Jenny.
Until you meet the person that doesn't, and you're like,
it's very rare that you find a person that you're like, yeah, I would have not have pegged you for a Carol.
Okay, I have to say this so we have some information. okay, they surveyed 63,000 kid names, and they did it off of an online sticker book, like a behavior rating chart that some schools use, and this was in the US. But they said, according to their study, you better watch out if you name your girls these names because you might be setting them up for bad behavior.
You don't want a wild child.
These are the top flag names. So, I mean, here they are: Ella, Bethany, Eleanor, Olivia, Laura, Holly, Courtney, Amber, Caitlin, and Jade. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Jade sounds kind of jaded.
I don't know. Anyway, and these were the naughty little boy names: Joseph, Cameron, William, Jake, Joshua, Jamie, Lewis, Benjamin, Ethan, and Luke.
Yeah, they sound like troublemakers. I wouldn't name my kids those.
Oh, but you know how you were talking about you thinking through the names?
No, I know.
All the people name that. That's not a prediction.
No.
There are some really good Courtneys out there.
There are some really good Courtneys out there.
And Jakes.
So if you're just joining us, I'm Cammie. This is Danielle.
I'm Danielle.
We are doing our very first show, and we are talking about names. We were just kind of giving a little bit of history about our names and what we were named after and names of our businesses that we have. Tying up into, again, our first show, because right now we're called the Danielle and Cammie Show, because we want to come up with a name for our show, and we want you guys to help us come up with that name. So our kind of topic of discussion today was names, but we want you guys to help us name our show. So where can they go to give us that input of all your suggestions for our names of our show? And our show is centered around womanhood and empowerment and inspiration from women.
Yeah, and celebrating everyone.
Yeah.
At whatever point in the journey they are at.
We just want to be we want to be fun people. We're trying to be fun people. No, I'm just kidding. About it, yeah, enjoying the beautiful things in life and finding the joy in life rather than the gossip and the negative and the tearing down that so many other people do to find.
And we want to be builders.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so speaking of names that you didn't want to be mocked, because I knew I couldn't name my first child, we named the second child in the womb. And she was just Lucy. And we thought Lucy was foolproof. We had, looked at all the recess names that it could be made. I'm like, there's just nothing. You can't touch this name. The first day she was born, Dave's friend Shane walks into the hospital room and goes, "Hey, Flucy." Shane, where were you 2 months ago?
Damaged from day one.
Anyway, no name is foolproof.
No, it's not.
You can create your name to be the new inspiration that other people want to become.
Or just make fun of it first before anybody else gets a chance, and then you know, fun. So do we have a place where that people can interact with us?
Yes.
On Facebook page?
Okay, so on Facebook.
Yeah, on our Facebook page and on Jess FM, right?
Okay, so we want everybody
we'll put ourselves on there too.
To write in and give us your suggestions of what our name should be called, because hey, we love everybody and we love to hear from your thoughts. And sometimes you guys can think of things that we would have never thought of, and we would have been like, brilliant, how come we didn't think of that?
Well, in our 2 minutes before trying to name it, actually didn't go so well.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have a little fun thing for Cammie.
Okay.
I had to keep these.
Sorry,
because I forgot.
Blinders are
on. Name that tune. And I didn't know we could do music, so next time we'll do it to music. But
I think it's more fun this way.
Oh, this is a party.
We're showing off your talents.
That's right. No fear. Okay, so I have some songs that are strong women songs. I'm gonna.
Just so everybody knows, I'm terrible at this, and I really have no way of knowing how this is going to turn out. So we're just winging it.
Okay, here it is.
Are you singing it or humming it?
Humming it. Yeah, if I sing it, you'd know the name. Okay. Da 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 da. Ba ba ba.
Sweet Caroline. Ba ba ba.
Yep, she got it. Okay, one for Cammie. And one for my singing. Okay, here we go. That one's hard. Just a second.
The hard ones are fun. Oh. It's Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, Celia, you got it.
Okay.
I am better at this
Okay,
than I
you
thought.
did.
Or maybe you're just a really good hummer.
I think it's both. This is a song I absolutely loved, and I wanted my name to be this just because of this song.
Ooh.
Everybody wants you.
Because you can't just listen to that song and sit down. You literally have to get up and be like, Gloria.
When I meet a Gloria, that's the first thing I sing to her. Gloria. I hope a Gloria comes to our conference.
Oh, I love it.
It will be at our dance. Gloria. Okay.
Some people are just blessed with these names that are so awesome.
They are.
You're jealous.
I am. I wanted a song named after me, and
Why don't you just write your own?
I know. I thought about
Okay.
that. It's not as cool as someone writing a song for you.
That's true.
So I thought, like, you know that song by the Beatles, Michelle, my belle.
Yes, yeah.
I just say Danielle, my belle. These are words that go together well. Okay, here's one. Da 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 da.
Uh-oh. I don't know that. But I love that.
Billie Jean's Not My Love.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably on the wrong tune. Sorry. Okay, and then we have.
You should have thrown it like a in there, and then I would have gotten it.
There it is, Billie Jean. Okay. I know this one because my neighbor, she had to tell me this to remember her name. I'm like, how am I going to remember your name?
Uh-huh.
She's like, na 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 na.
Again.
Rolling Stones. Na na na. Woo!
What is it?
Angie. Angie.
Oh, okay.
Angie.
I think they sound better when I sing it.
I'm talking. Okay, well, we'll end on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a good one, because I need to go out
Yeah.
on
Let's
a
see.
high.
I think you got this one. Can you tell what I'm going to sing?
Well, let's find out. Start singing and I'll
Okay.
tell you.
Maybe that one's hard. Okay, we'll do this one. Dun, 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 dun.
Sharona.
There it is.
That was nice.
Okay, so those are girl name
What
songs.
was the hard one?
It was da 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 da
Oh.
da 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 da.
Okay. Moving on. I don't know that one.
Eleanor Rigby, Beatles.
And just, you know what? I'm one of the biggest Beatle fans ever. And how could I not?
Hey, I would like to throw a shout out to our friends at
Umami.
and tell us what umami means.
Savory.
Savory. Of all the tastes, bitter, sweet, salty, it's the one
It's
Japanese
it's
word.
umami.
Savory.
Savory.
And they provided us with tea for
Mhm.
our very first show. So thank you to them. And
Did you know that they have a sister store in
no,
France?
what?
Shut the front door, we've come full circle!
Oh, I know they serve macaroons there. Les macarons. They serve them there at Umami. My girls
I
were-
could be totally wrong, but I think her sister lives there and she has the sister store to the one here in Lethbridge.
That's awesome. I knew we were meant to be.
Right.
Okay.
Don't you just love it when everything connects?
This is kind of what we're about. Connection, stories, just being real, probably having a few laughs.
And then trying to come full circle.
And bringing it all together. So thank you, Lethbridge. Thank you, area. Thank you, world.
And we want to hear your name, so Jess TV, and then also on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And hopefully next week we're going to have this super amazing name for our show. And
if it comes in quick enough, we can get a logo, we can get a jingle.
and then we are on fire, girl, let me tell you.
All right, so thanks for watching. I'm Danielle.
I'm Cammie. We hope you had fun. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and everything that we did. Anyway, we will see you next week with a new name and a new background.
That's right. Oh, we hope you enjoyed our modern Greek. Wow.
Anyway, we enjoyed this. This was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks.